Well, what is going on, everybody? I got an email back from the metal company and they are precise. I'm just saying, it makes me super happy. I'm definitely going with these guys. They're like, hey, can you just triple check and see exactly what degree the actual ridge is? Told them, you know, it's a 512 on both sides, this side being a 412. And they want to just triple check and make sure that it is that size. And then we can be able to get it all solid and actually tie in perfectly without the risk of oil canning. I didn't know what style of ridge cap I needed to get, you know, because there's a lot out there. From what I was seeing, I was like, man, if it's really the flat one, you tend to get it from what I was seeing everywhere. So I was like, okay, maybe if I get them to give me a little bit more bent, it will work out that way. And they're like, well, we don't really have that for the vented aspect. We have it for the non, but so I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to go with the flat. And they're wanting me to figure out exactly what the pitch is so that way they can bend it correctly to the correct degree angle that it needs to be. And it'll be the least amount of like pulling it and bending on that seam. We'll see how that goes. I'm really curious. This is a long time coming, and it's been nerve-wracking. This is a big purchase. It's one of those where, you know, this we could buy stud by stud, you know, get it framed out, get it where we needed to. The windows were somewhat of a big purchase, but it wasn't what this is going to be. So it's like, I really want to make sure that, you know, we get it correctly and we can make it to where it's going to work perfectly. So I got a lot of stuff to do up on the roof, and in order for me to do that, I need to get harnessed up and make sure that I can clip into my safety line and be safe, right? So I always opt for my rock climbing harness, mainly because this is my job site, so I don't really have to follow a whole lot of standard aspects. Do I know what the standards are, and do I know what all those aspects are? Yes, I do have a 5-point harness right here. I'd rather opt to make sure my connection point is here and that thing rides in places that it's not comfortable. Okay, this is my opinion. I do not advertise this to anybody to do what I do. I always tell you guys, you know, do your own research, make sure that you follow protocols, do as I say, not as I do type thing. Like I said, I do not recommend you guys doing this or anything else like that. I appreciate the worry and everything, but me personally, I have taken whippers in a rock climbing harness. I've worked in a rock climbing harness for over a decade. All right, so it's something that I'm really used to, and I got a lot of holders all the way around, and I can make it to where I can clip a lot of stuff to me and know I'm good. If I were to take a fall in a rock climbing harness, the rope would at least be here, and I can at least grab it and pull up. This is my own personal opinion. I'd rather have it here. Now, it is a static rope, and no matter what, that's gonna suck, even if it's attached to your back. And the reason why OSHA and everybody else likes it in the back is because they don't want you messing with it. They don't want it to be an interruptive thing that could wrap around your neck or anything else like that. Being here, most likely it's going to fall. Now, if I were to have it slewed one way or another, when you take a fall in this type of a harness, the rope does come back at you and sort of slap you. I just rather have that flexibility on it. Sorry if it's a little windy and the sound audio is not really the best. I am not using the mics, mainly because it's just more stuff to get in the way and screw up. Let's get to climbing this guy and clipping myself in. Okay, now on a rock climbing harness, you normally just get one belay. I end up putting a second one just so that way I have 2 points of contact. I wish I still had my Omega oval, which I really love. Once I get up here, if it's behind me, okay, it's a pain in the butt to try to work this thing and try to get a hold of it sometimes to try to get it to where you can actually activate it. You know, you're always having to reach behind you to grab it and everything else. So it just becomes a frustration, and just having the rope alone becomes a tripping hazard while you're up here and everything else. So this As much as it's like, oh yes, you know, I'm clipped in and I'm safe. It's not always here. This rope, you have to clip it up there, which is a plate with a D-ring on it that you can clip into. They make a nice safety strap and everything. I'm gonna end up putting quite a few. That's just gonna be one. I'm gonna have one right here. I'm gonna have another one over in the middle point over there, as well as I'm gonna put one on this middle point over here. So that way I can sort of easily clip in one way or another. This valley right here makes it a little easier for me to be able to walk through and get up, and make it a little safer for me to be able to access the roof, mainly because this is the shorter portion to the ground. So if I come over here to this corner, okay, this is the sketchy part, okay? This is the red zone. The no-go red zone in my eyes, in my thinking. I'm gonna unclip myself. Let me put it right here where I'm somewhat tucked away from this. If I were to fall, I would get caught up right there in that seam. And that's where it is. Now, that would extend another good like 2-3 feet, roughly. Might come down to about right here. If I had that on my back, I'm slamming into the ground no matter what, which is why that's the red no-go zone. If I have my harness here and I'm falling to about right here, the anchor point of that, my butt might, if I stretch a little bit more with it, might hit the ground. Might. I don't know if I want to have my attachment point be in my back when I'm falling and swinging. I'd rather it be in my middle, to where I can at least sort of rock climb aspect wise and repel, grabbing onto that strap that is somewhat extending, reaching back, sort of laying out to be able to absorb it a little bit. That's my thinking. I don't know. Like I said, this is my opinion and my logic on it. I'd rather have it be that way and have a little bit more control. On the other side, I might not hit the ground because I'm so far up. But on this side, I might hit the ground on me. I'm just saying. I tend to have a hand on this rope, one, to be able to not fall, but to save this thing from smacking around on the deck, hitting it every now and then. I'll just let it drag, but I try to be mindful of it because it is a tripping hazard. Now I'm over here and it's the same concept. Okay, this thing is here, this thing is here, and if I came out just any at all, come out to this, if I fall, I'm sliding down and I'm definitely smacking the ground no matter what harness I'm wearing, which is why I'm gonna put one right here. I'm gonna put another one over there and another one over there. When I do that, I'll be able to also attach a cable across if I were to have to come up here and do any big services, and I'll be able to have a sliding cable, making it to where I can only access from the ridge and it will actually slide from edge to edge. We'll see exactly if I actually need it. I'm trying to make it to where I don't ever have to come up here once the roof is done. That's the goal. That's the goal. There's a lot to it. There is so much, it's not even funny, with safety aspect wise of what needs to happen, what goes one way and this way, and the job just needs to get done, and it comes to a really bad practice of not following the rules. So I'm not trying to spread misinformation or anything else like that. This is my opinion and why I choose to do what I'm doing right now and how I'm going about it. Anyway, enough yakking, enough trying to explain reasonings on why I do things when I don't need to, but I've heard it a few times and I appreciate it like no tomorrow. However, I'm just saying I know better, and I know what I'm doing when it comes down to my safety and what I'm capable of. And I know, and I do understand accidents happen, but that's why I've got this connected and everything else. And it doesn't really do a whole lot good at the peaks up here. If I were to fall, I might not fall, but yeah, I don't want to really check that just yet. Let me try to figure out what is this angle and where are we at. That's there. Triple check this side. Just pictures. OCD. That is freaky. Looking down there. Don't look down. Lieutenant Dan. That's freaky though. Look at this. We're up here. Don't look down. Whoo! Get those bubblies in your stomach. Yeah. I don't know what that refers down to. But my next one that I gotta do is that one. Got my number for the house ridge. I got my number for the mudroom ridge. I'm just gonna go ahead, get a number for this transitional. Ooh, I can tell you it's already gonna be a big number. And now this transition. Where you at? You're big there. 78.5. All right, I'm gonna triple check this side of the transition more so than I am going to on the house side, mainly because those are engineered trusses that were designed for a 512 pitch, so it should be 512 pitch, all that stuff. So let's see, y'all. What does this come out to? Is it that same number? There it is. I've got my numbers all typed in and figured out. Now I just gotta add everything up and make it to where we can actually, you know, get these things all ordered. It's a part of the trim pieces and should help out with the oil canning. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, but I'm gonna get my butt inside. It's super windy out there. That wind is going nuts, and it's starting to get a little chilly and whatnot. But I'll catch you guys here in a little bit when I get on down and get safely on the ground. So stay tuned.
Happy Friday, everybody. I hope that you guys have had a really great week so far. I know that we have. We've gotten a lot done upstairs on the cabin build, getting all the ice and water shield on there, getting everything prepared for our huge metal order, which, I mean, both Gary and I are so excited about it, man. We just keep talking about it, but we have a very exciting weekend planned with lots of Fram Bam coming into town. Tim with Ridge Life, go Ridge Life! He's having his big retirement party and we're invited and honored to go. So I'm looking forward to that. But tonight it's Friday, focusing one day at a time. Today is Friday and it's our pizza night. We usually always do pizza with the kids on Friday. It's kind of a family tradition. It goes back from like when me and Anthony were kids, we used to do TGIF. Anybody remember that? Thank God it's Friday. I think it was ABC or something. Anyway, one of those channels, they used to do like a whole TV lineup on Friday nights, and we used to enjoy watching that. And our family would often order us in some pizza, whether it be Domino's or Little Caesars, Pizza Hut, whatever. But being out here in this area, there is no dial-up delivery. So we either got DiGiorno or we gotta make it ourselves. I typically make it myself, and today I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. I've had a lot of questions on the different type of dough that I use, and the dough that I use is not necessarily like a pizza dough, but I find that in my little toaster oven, which is a little complicated to cook in, this is the best dough for my situation. So if you guys are interested in making some pizza, follow along and let's get this going. So first things first that we're gonna go ahead and do, I already got my bread machine out and cleaned. And the first thing that I'm gonna go ahead and do is drop in 3/4 cup of water into the bowl. Next up, an egg. Then we're gonna take a stick of butter and we're gonna do 5 tablespoons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cut right on the line. And this part is going inside there. So here's the 5 tablespoons of butter. I always kind of chop it up a little small so that way the mixer can mix it a little better, but 5 tablespoons butter going right in. Next up is 3 teaspoons of the bread machine yeast. You could also use just regular rapid rise, but since I'm using a bread machine, we're using the bread machine yeast. Next up is sugar. We're gonna go ahead and add in 3 tablespoons of sugar. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of kosher salt. And finally, we're going to add 3 cups of flour. And once you get all of your ingredients in your little basket, you just go ahead and set it inside your bread machine. Make sure it's nice and locked. Go over here to the program, and whatever program setting your bread machine has is what you're gonna use. Mine, it's setting number 8, but you're gonna wanna do it on the dough only setting. So I'm gonna go ahead and put mine on number 8, and we're gonna press start. In an hour and 30 minutes, the dough will be risen and it will be ready for me to roll out and turn it into pizza. I've actually already made 1 batch of dough and it's just chilling over here. It's been sitting for, I had just rinsed my bowl when I started recording, so this is how much it's risen so far. And by the time that it's ready for me to roll out, it should be pretty much the size of the bowl and a lot fluffier, so it still needs some time. We're just gonna keep it over here in the bowl with the cloth over it. And it'll be ready when I'm ready. Now, the one thing that I really wanna get done today is we all have been really craving some musubi, so that's what I'm gonna start making. This is such an easy, tasty dish to make. We usually will make it in several different like little Sammys, and I'll wrap it up into plastic and I'll set it aside in the refrigerator. And it's a perfect grab and go snack. You can have it for breakfast, you could have it for lunch, or just a snack. I guess you could have it for dinner too, but we just really love eating it. And I finally got some more seaweed, which I had to order online because our stores out here don't exactly carry it. But yeah, I'm super excited to make it. So all you need for some musubi is the seaweed wrap, you need Spam, and you need white rice. That's it. Very, very simple, and it's very tasty. First thing that I gotta do to get ready to make the musubi and preparing it is I gotta get my rice cooker down. And what we're gonna do is we're going to measure and wash our rice, and then we're gonna set it inside here. Push the rice button timer on the cooker. It's gonna cook the rice, and then once the rice is cooked, then we'll get to it. It's very just plain basic sticky white rice. I'm using 3 cups of jasmine white rice. Inside the rice cookers or the Instapots, generally the ratio that you're gonna do is 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice. I find that it cooks it really tender and it makes that really good sticky rice that you want. So let's get started. All right, I'm sorry, I had to reorganize and kind of move some stuff around. I moved the bread maker over here and I got my rice cooker over here now. I gotta be kind of picky about where I have my appliances because of how we have our electricity run here in the basement. I don't wanna go popping any breakers or anything now. So now that I got everything situated, I did actually already start the rice. So like I said before, it's just 3 cups of rice, 6 cups of water, and you just push the rice setting, and here in just a little bit, that sticky rice will be ready. I also put butter in everything, and so I actually put the remaining 3 tablespoons from that stick of butter that I have going for the dough. I just went ahead and threw that inside there too, because everything's better with butter, right? Yeah, I thought so. So now that I got the rice going, I've got my dough going, the next thing that I'm gonna start working on is the Spam. I'm gonna get all my Spam cut and fried, and it'll be ready for me when I need to assemble it. All right, another appliance. I know, my kitchen's a little hodgepodge, but you know what? You'd be surprised in what I can do in here. So I'm actually taking the other butter that I had left over from the previous batch of dough that I made. I'm just gonna toss it inside my skillet, get my skillet preheated, and let this kind of start melting off and getting the bottom of my pan really coated. I've got my 2 cans of Spam. Now, some people really love Spam. Some people really can't stand Spam. I am personally on the love it side. So it's actually a really tasty treat for me whenever I'm able to get this thing done. So what you're gonna wanna do is you got the butter going in here. I kind of squeeze my can so it'll come out a little bit more. You're gonna take this, and if you don't have one of these, you're just gonna wanna cut it into little slivers, but I actually bought one of these things, and you just put the Spam on there and it'll put it in like perfect little Sammy slices for you. It's like one of those egg ones, but instead of for eggs, it's for Spam. And it just slices it. And boom, now I have perfect little Sammy slices of Spam. Isn't that cute? I'm gonna give you guys a good top-down view here in just a second. I just wanna get this kind of started first, and then I'll show you what I'm working with. I'm working with limited space here in this kitchen and really difficult camera angles and such while I'm working. So I'm doing my best to bring y'all along. Just bear with me, all right? But I'm gonna take all of my little Spam pieces that I just cut, and I'm just gonna lay them out here on this pan. I'm not really trying to like cook it because it's already kind of cooked. You just wanna brown it. It gives it some more flavor, as well as it makes it a little bit less like mushy. So let's get this going.
I bet you guys are very, very curious to know what's the, color of the metal. What's what's the trims, what's everything, how is it, and all that. It is a standing seam metal. I've said it a lot onto it. The color, Mel is honestly, she's back and forth, and she's on the fence with it. I think I might get her to tell you guys exactly what the color is, and maybe we'll leave it up to you guys to decide or try to figure out. We hate trying to give it to you guys to decide, because in all reality, it's not really up to you guys. We just like to get a third opinion aspect type thing. And ultimately it's our decision to decide, you know. So she might just throw it at you guys just for like a kicks and giggles to see what does the audience say and which ways that they would go. If it was their house, which way would they go, you know? So it's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I'm so excited to get it going, and I'm so excited to get the roof on. I've been chit-chatting back and forth with the guy that's processing this order and everything like that, and it's looking really good. I'm really happy with how everything is working out. Ooh, I come in here and she's cooking away.
Yeah. You guys are already knowing that you guys are getting those cooking with Mel interruptions. But I figured Gary was doing a great job outside, and I would spend the time doing some batch cooking.
Look at that. Some Spam, frying it up.
Mm-hmm. Musubi.
Musubi, all right. Well, do you want to tell the people what your decisions are, or what your choices are for the metal that you've been bouncing around and
I was sitting here like, what are you talking about?
bing-bonging around that she's like, I don't know. And
Okay.
we sort of need to know, because we need to order this metal and we need to get it rolling, you know.
This is a serious topic, so give me 1 second. Let me flip all of these really quick. And I will get back to you. Just 1 second.
All right, I put her on the spot, you guys.
So hear me out, friends. Like, when I think of a cabin in the woods, right, there's a couple of different like aesthetics that I'm pretty much going for. One of which would be a roof color similar to what Mama V did. It's kind of like a brushed nickel, sort of bronzy looking, and that looks absolutely gorgeous. Another option that I automatically think of when I think of like a cabin in the woods is that beautiful hunter green color, because it just, you know, it kind of goes with the nature. You got the brown wood siding with the beautiful green roof, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. There is a third option though that I've been considering, because it also looks equally as gorgeous, but in light of recent events, I don't know. There's a very big part of me that's considering the dark blue. What do you guys think we should go with? And what do you think my choice is going to be? Drop it down in the comments. If you know, you know.
I will get with that guy and we'll get this metal roof ordering.
Guys, I'm so excited. All seriousness, I'm all fun and games, but in all seriousness, I am very excited to be finally at that point in our roof. It's just really exciting. I can't believe that we're finally to the point where we're talking to the distributors and it's going to be here before we know it. Yeah.
So I will catch you guys here in just a little bit.
All right, friends. Well, I got all of my Spam fried up. I got my sticky rice all made. I've got all of my stuff cleaned out. Got my roasted seaweed. And I'm ready to start rolling some musubi. So it's very easy. You just assemble it. So let's start assembling our musubi. So there is one thing you're going to need to pick up if you want to make this, and that's this like musubi press. I did have to pick this up online on Amazon. It was very inexpensive because it's essentially just plastic, but it is necessary in order to finish making this. So what we're gonna go ahead and do first, we're gonna take our seaweed and we're gonna take our sheets out and just kind of set it off to the side. And you take a nice piece of seaweed and you lay it down. And then the next thing that you do is you put this guy right on top of the seaweed, right in the middle, sort of. And then you're gonna take a big, look at that hot rice. Take a big spoonful of it and just like dump it right inside there, and you're gonna press down with the spoon so that way you got like a nice flat thing of rice going on in there. Gonna add a little bit more. So it's not full, but it's like, I'd say at least halfway. Let me add a little bit more. All right, and then you're just gonna take one of your Spams and drop it right in there. The Spam, when it cooks, it like shrinks up a little bit. So because of that, what I end up doing is I end up taking one piece of Spam and then I actually cut another piece of Spam in thirds and it fits perfectly in there. And now that I got the rice and the Spam inside, you just take the little topper and you just push down like as hard as you can. What we're doing right now is we're forming the rice into the container shape. All right, now that I got it formed, you just kind of have it stuck in there and then you can slide that up. Ta-da! Now what we do is we take our seaweed and you just wrap it around. And then I always find that it's nice if you take your finger and you just kind of press on it like this. It rubs some of that Spam oil on top of the seaweed, and that's going to be important because when you do this other wrap, you want it to stick. So you could do it either by rubbing the Spam, or you can actually have like a bowl of water set aside and dip your finger in the water. It will help to set and seal the seaweed so that way it stays closed. Which actually I'm gonna do the bowl of water. And that is our first rolled musubi. But essentially you just take it now and you just put it inside of some foil, wrap her up. I was able to get 15 rolls of musubi done with the 2 cans of Spam and then all of that rice. I was planning on having this set aside in the refrigerator for batch cooking, so like later on this week, you know, when we want a snack or something, we can just pop in and grab one. But no, 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 the kids want it now. You want your musubi?
Yes!
You guys are starving?
Yes. Can I
Go ahead, grab one. It's good, guys. It's good. I know some of you guys are out there probably like, seaweed, brother,
No,
but no,
it's
it's really good. It's really good. My work here is done. Not really. Actually, now is about time. My second batch of dough inside my bread machine is done, and it's ready for me to take it out and put it inside a bowl so it can rise some more. But check this out, friends. Check this out. Look how much it's risen already, just in the amount of time it took for me to make the musubi. So I'm gonna take this out and set this in a bowl, just like how I have the other one, and let it rise a little bit more, so that way we can use it for dinner tonight. It's been a few hours, and now that I got all the musubi done, I'm I'm gonna start working on dinner. So let's check back into my dough really quick. And look at that, much larger, much larger. So those are perfect for me to start rolling out. I got my pizza trays already ready with some tin foil just because it makes it easier for me to clean up. And pizza's pretty basic. I'm pretty sure most people know how to make it, but essentially we're gonna roll out this dough and stretch it onto the pizza pans, and then we're gonna set it all up with some sauce and all of our good toppings and get it ready. All right, well, I just took that pizza out of the oven. You guys wanna see what it looks like? Ooh, it's so good. There we have it, friends. Beautiful pizza. And I got one more in the oven, waiting to finish off. I'm gonna cut into this thing and feed everybody. All right, friends, well, we're gonna settle in and enjoy some dinner and some family time. I wanna thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode. A little sporadic here and there, but honestly, that's life and we're living it. So thanks again so much for hanging out with us today and watching today's episode. We'll be back with another one soon. So until the next one, friends, we love y'all and we hope you have a good one. We will catch you on the next one. Later.